Well, joining us now is the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Michigan Congressman Mike Rogers. Good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Thanks
You've
for
been
having me.
sitting quietly while we've been talking about this immigration stuff.
I told you I was trainable. Apparently, we've done it.
We have a lot to say.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think about the president's executive action?
Which one? I mean, there's been a host of them. And here's an interesting thing. If he talks about that 80%, we can agree on 80%, why has he never led both the Senate and the House to come together on an agreement on immigration? Right. He could have done that. He could have been at the White House. He could have invited those key players up often and frequent, which most presidents would do if they really believe they want to get a bipartisan solution on the immigration problem. He hasn't done any of that.
I know, Chairman, it's not your committee, but do you agree the House should have come up with their own their version?
Well, we did pass a bill that we think really set the place where the House of Representatives is on immigration, border security, more money to make sure the kids are treated humanely but returned back to their home country. And the reason we did that is every day that we wait means some family has handed their child to a criminal organization, and these kids are being sexually abused, they're being recruited for gangs or pressed into gangs, they're being introduced to drugs, and unfortunately we're finding more and more dead bodies along the way. There's no compassion in letting this problem get out of control, and they continue to do it. So the narrative in those countries is, if you can make it, you get in, free pass. That's right. We need to stop that if you're going to stop the deaths and abuse of these children.
All right, Congressman, I want to get your thoughts on this insider attack that just happened. What a tragedy. We saw a surge in this in 2011 and 2012. Now we're seeing this happening again. Is this the terrorists, or is this them beating their chest saying, you know, you may be leaving, but we're chasing you out. This isn't your decision. This is our decision.
Well, absolutely. And we knew one thing. So in fairness, there had been higher, they call it blue on green, attacks. So people that we were training, our U.S. forces were training, killing U.S. service members in the past, and it's been coming down. Now you're seeing this spike, and interestingly enough, the intelligence showed there would be a spike. So when you announce the drawdown and draw down without understanding the facts on the ground, that means certain opportunities to collect intelligence just go away.
Absolutely.
When that happens, you expose those soldiers and sailors and Marines to new risks that you wouldn't have before, because you might not hear about it until it's too late, or you might not hear about it at all.
Sure.
And so our intelligence folks are saying, hey, you're making a very difficult job much harder and much more difficult because of the plan that they've announced.
Absolutely, and that's why we're going to play an exchange for you from Tuesday in the briefing room, where Ed Henry asked Josh Earnest, the new spokesperson for the president, you know, you're talking about all the progress that we're making. Well, how can you say we're making progress given the fact that this two-star general was just assassinated? Watch this.
How can you say progress when an American general was killed today?
Well, the progress that I cited is the progress that was made, hard-won progress, that was made by our men and women in uniform who've been serving in Afghanistan for more than 12 years. And there is no doubt that what previously was a base of operations for core Al-Qaeda no longer exists.
And we don't want to say that the Major General is more important than anybody else that lost their lives. But Josh Earnest is having a tough time defining, just like President Bush did for a while in Afghanistan before the surge, that we're actually being successful.
Well, some notion that core Al-Qaeda doesn't exist, this is very, very concerning. That is a completely false narrative. One of the things that we know is that there's this battle now, which is dangerous for the United States, between ISIS, the group that is in Syria and Iraq, and Al-Qaeda. Right? Remember, they stepped away. ISIS stepped away from Al-Qaeda. There's a competition to get their hands on the individuals who are coming from Western European countries, the United States, training, radicalizing.
They're competing with each other.
Yes, and here's my fear, is that they both want to put some points on the board when it comes to a terrorist activity to show the world that they are the terrorist organization that should be listened to. And we know this through chatter and other analytical products that are out there, that, hey, listen, ISIS would like to have a Western-style attack somewhere while it's consolidating its gains in Syria and Iraq, and so does Al-Qaeda. And we have seen some, I would argue, very dangerous forward deployments of those individuals, not to Western countries yet, who have the sole purpose, and these are Al-Qaeda-affiliated groups, for the sole purpose of conducting a Western-style attack, both the United States, Western Europe on the agenda. That's dangerous. And to say, everything's fine, nothing to see here, move along, is wrong, and I think the narrative is wrong. And I'm a little bit shocked that they would even say that. We have even seen al-Qaeda push back into some of the eastern provinces in Afghanistan. That's just shocking to me.
Right. So, but that's the White House. That's that guy's job. He's got to spin it the best he can. All right,
Thanks. Great
Chairman
to see
Mike
you.
Rogers, thank you very much.
So
Thanks
it's
for
good to
having
have you in studio. Thanks, Chairman.
Thanks for having me.